What's going on, everyone? This is Fight versus Kev and Shelz. I'm Shelz.
Kev, 8 Count Sports. 8 Count Sports is going on, bro.
Chilling, homie. What's going on with you, bro? What we dealing with?
All is well. All is well. Full fight weekend, bro. Full fight weekend. UFC 310, the last pay-per-view of the year.
Yes, sir.
What was your thoughts? What was your thoughts on the fights this week? On live from Vegas.
Live from Vegas. I mean, this was a very calm way to end 2024. Very eventful year for the UFC and for MMA in general. We're gonna start of course with the flyweight champ, Plantova versus my man
Kai.
Say that again?
What was his name? Kai, right?
Yeah, Kai. Yeah. I was gonna say Japan's own Kai, but
do we need to remember his name? Will he be back?
I don't see why not. Yo, he did okay, bro. And from what Dana White said, second round submission. Of course, we expected more out of him, but from watching what he did against Plantova, I think he have besides the champ, I think you have a good run within the flyweight division amongst the other fighters, bro.
You think so?
I think so, bro.
I don't know about that, man. These dudes come from abroad. They bring him in. He won championships in other places, but that ain't the UFC. The highlights that he had, they was in the ring. It wasn't even an octagon. I'm like, this is WWE, man. What? You know what it looked like when I watched this fight? Let's just get right into it.
Yes,
it seemed like two things were at work. It seemed like when Pantoja, when Pantoja took his best shot and didn't move. Everybody else was dropping like flies. They showing these highlight reels. You hear how powerful. Pantoja didn't budge. He was right in his kitchen, walking him down. And that got to be demoralizing. Okay, it worked everywhere else. What's plan B? Pantoja was on his back. So it was like the first round he felt them out. And it was like, that's all he got? Second round, he's on his back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When Kai hit him with the flying knee kick in the beginning of the first round, and the fight continued after that, I was like, ooh.
And he kept doing the same thing. How much of those flying knees he hit him with? Hit him with a few of them. Didn't move him.
I believe two at least. First of all, it did show the levels that when we said the UFC got the creme de la creme, like you see why. Like you even seen this with Michael Chandler. Right. Like you got a champ from a whole nother promotion. He comes in and they start off with one of their no offense to Dan Hooker, but they start off with one of their their lightweights.
Right.
Pun intended. Because that's the division. They start with one of their lightweights and
Hooker was top 5 at the time.
Number 5 though.
Nope.
Like they when I said they didn't give him an unranked opponent because he was coming from a whole nother. He was the guy in the Bellator promotion that he was coming from. So when I said they gave him one of his lightweights, they gave him a good starter pack. Like let's see what he does with. They gave him a good little. Let's see if we just warm up. When he goes against the actual creme de la creme of the division, you start seeing that separation in skill set, and you're probably seeing the same thing with Kai in this situation. Which is why, even though he was summoned in the second round, I still feel he has a future in the flyweight division. I could see him against personally, I could see him against someone like Moreno, bro.
Or France too, but do you think he can win it? I feel like Moreno's these dudes. You talking about Moreno? That's the top of the division.
Well, I'm not saying Kai is out. I still feel Kai has some kind of his skill set was still allow him to navigate in the waters of the top 5 of the division.
I hear you, man. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess I kind of jumped the gun by saying who I would like to see him go against next. I did bring up Moreno, but you brought up a good one in Cover France. That would be a nice one too.
Yeah, I think that would probably be more down his alley, but I just don't see him beating any of them. You're not walking in the UFC.
Who do you think his
You're
future? Who do you think
not
his
just gonna
future's in
walk
the
in
UFC?
there.
You think he's gonna be the flyweight version of Michael Chandler? It's gonna be bad for him.
Nah, I'm gonna be real with you. Michael Chandler, to me, he damn near almost won the belt in his second match. When he fought Oliveira for the belt, he almost won that. It wasn't like I just think that division is murderer's row. As far as Chandler's concerned, as far as this is concerned, I don't see it. They're bringing him over. Yeah, it looks great. You put him in with the champ first, really, because they ran out of people to give Pantoja. Pantoja didn't beat everybody. They talking about him fighting France again. I'm like, yo, there's nobody left. That's how badly he's cleaned up.
He called it Demetrius.
Well, I was getting there. That was a great call out. What do you think as far as on the Pantoja side of things? What do you think? I thought, me personally, I was wild. And him calling his shot after the fight, and he was talking. He was talking his stuff. He was basically saying, "Man, this guy ain't gonna come over here and beat me." I'm paraphrasing. That's basically what he was saying. Then he called out the goal. He called out the goal.
I love that call out. But here's the question: how likely is it? Because if you get Demetrius Johnson out there and Demetrius wins, we're seeing that Demetrius back in the UFC and now he's gonna make is he gonna stay as the champ of the flyweight division, or is he walking after that fight? So if that's the case, does it even make sense to bring him in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Because the history between Demetrius and the UFC.
Yeah. Icy.
But Dana White, he just said just now. He said he's been he's been waving the Demetrius flag for a while now.
That's not what he said. Oh, this guy.
But you know what that tells me?
Yeah.
That tells me that there's some interest in that. That tells me there's some interest in that.
But I think it would be. I think there would be interest in that.
Bro, that's a super fight. The return of Demetrius Johnson.
It would definitely be a super fight, but they would have to pull a lot of strings together because I believe Demetrius was with one championship, and I don't know. You can't retire. He retired, but you can't retire out of your contract. Similar to football with Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. Yeah, you retire, but when you come back, you're still under contract. And so I don't. But remember, the UFC did work out. They actually traded Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren. I've never heard of that in a promotion before. So they do have a relationship with one championship. So as opposed to PFL, where that's more of a rival.
Yeah.
So maybe they could pull it off. I wouldn't.
Bro,
I wouldn't put it past them. That would be a great fight. That would be a great fight. That would be a great fight. I agree. All right, so let's move on to the co-main event. You got Ian Gary taking on the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman.
Is he the Boogeyman still?
Is he still undefeated?
He's still undefeated.
What are you talking about?
All right,
let's talk about it. Still undefeated, right?
Let's talk about. Okay, all right, he's still undefeated.
That's the Boogeyman.
But first of all, yeah, he won after a 5-round decision. But you know what I got out of it?
What you got out of it?
Remember the movie 300 when Leonidas said, "Yo, before the end of this, they're gonna know that you bleed."
Yeah.
He told it to Xerxes.
Yeah.
He said, "Y'all might get defeated, but before the end of this, they're gonna know you're not a god." I think that's what we just saw, bro. Like I've never seen Chakra look as human as he did last night, bro. Like Ian's takedown defense was impeccable. His balance is impeccable. It makes me want to see them fight again when they both have full fighting camps know that they're gonna fight each other, training for each other because this was a last minute thing. So matter of fact, Ian Gary was supposed to have a fight the week before this, and he pulled out of that one to fight Shakmov. So and I'm not gonna take away from Shakman Romanov because he's supposed to fight Bilal Muhammad. So he's probably training for him the whole time until Bilal had to pull out himself. So honestly, I would love to see them fight again when they both have full training camps for each other, specialized for each other. But that's neither here nor there right now. What I did see was I saw impeccable stand-up defense from Ian Gary, but there was more significant strikes coming from Shakman Romanov. That was, I think that's what gave him the edge in clinching that victory. And I'm gonna say this even more. It makes me even less excited for the Bilal Muhammad fight, because if he did that against Ian Gary, if he wasn't able to take down Ian Gary, do you think he's going to take down Bilal Muhammad, bro? Who makes his bread and butter off of his takedown and cardio?
Oh, that's a question. Those were rhetorical.
That's a question. Yes, a question.
All right, so let me. That was a lot to unpack.
That's a stupid question.
That was a lot to unpack. I'm going to start with first of all, I think yes, when you said quoting the 300 line, yes, we see you bleed. I don't really agree with that 1,000%. I understand what you're saying, but I think that Ian Gary, I think that Rachmanov, the key is he didn't look vulnerable. That's why I still think he's the boogeyman. He didn't dominate, but he didn't look vulnerable. Remember, Ian Gary's undefeated. And he's fought pretty much like some of the most toughest fights in that division. Like, this is not, if it's anybody that's gonna challenge Rachmanov, that's why this was just such a big fight to begin with. It's gonna be Ian Gary. You know what this fight reminded me of? Do you remember, at least to a lesser degree, do you remember when Israel Adesanya was sweeping through the middleweight division? And then he fought, who was the dude he fought? And he damn near, they was about to die in the ring. He took Israel all the way to the pinnacle. And the left-handed little dude. Oh man, I remember, you know him. It was a dude before he got the title shot against Whitaker. It was a dude, Gaslam. And remember when he fought Gaslam? And then come to find out that Gaslam, if we would have took that fight on face value, we would have said, oh man, I don't think he stand a chance against Whitaker. Come to find out, that was the fight. That was the he got in there with Whitaker and smoked them. It looked like child's play. So every once in a while, this is the guy. I just think Gary is a difficult matchup for anybody. He game plans really well. Like, I think for Gary to take this fight, they was like, oh, we see something. And that's why the fight looked the way it did. He saw things, but Rachmanov still got the W. He found a way to win. So now he's getting the guy that he actually was preparing for, the champion, Bilal Muhammad. I think this is going to be a great fight. I think this fight is going to be a great fight. Because the issue that Bilal Muhammad has, to me, is for a guy that's so good with his cardio and his takedown, he always ends up on his feet for the majority of fights. That happens a lot, more common than normal. So I think that's going to play this is an interesting fight, bro. That division, when Leon Edwards took the realm, we thought he was going to be a long-lasting champion. Then Bilal took the realm. Now, we've been talking about Rachmanov through both of their reigns. We've been talking about this guy coming up. So this is basically the future of the division. That's what we're looking at.
I like that analogy. I'm not mad at that analogy. I like that analogy.
You up?
It's still something to be seen, but I like that analogy though, because you're right. But it didn't seem like a trial of fire to me. But remember, back on it,
not to cut you off, remember, these two, what makes this fight more complicated, they've trained with each other.
Yeah, they did.
That complicates things even further. Like, I see these guys see little things. Aaron Gary took this fight because he saw something and he thought he'd be able to exploit it. And it just didn't work out.
All
Just
right.
ain't work out.
Well, we'll wait and see and behold. What do you think is next for Ian Gary though?
That's a great question. Jack Della, maybe.
Like Della? Okay.
Jack Della, right? What
I'll
it's
say Leon Edwards.
right. They
I'll say
saying
Leon
that
Edwards.
they saying Leon Edwards coming back in March in the UK.
Bro, that gets that I would get, and if I was Ian Gary, I would take that fight because if you beat the former champ, that's you back in the conversation for contendership for the belt.
Do you think that's the next fight though?
For Ian Gary,
Yeah.
if I was Ian Gary, I'll go for that. Like wow, Jack Della is another good one because we talking about the future. It's really those three.
He been on
It's
the
really
tear.
those three.
He been on the tear.
Yeah, he be on the tip. It's Ian Gary, Shakar Rachmanov, and JDM. Those three is like the future of the welterweight. Those three. So if I was Ian Gary, I would either go for whichever fight is sooner. And if the Leon Edwards fight is sooner, because I haven't made him anything about when Jack Delaman JDM is going back out there.
Yeah.
I'll go for the Leon Edwards fight. Whichever one comes first. From what I'm hearing is Leon Edwards.
All right, fair enough. Last but not least, probably the most controversial fight of the night in a division that's been the most controversial for the whole year.
The most controversial champ or champs. I don't even know what's going on over there, bro.
Cyril Gane versus Volkov last night. Part 2. This is their second fight, the second time they fight for it. Gane taking the first one on his way to his title shot against Ngannou the first time around. Wow. First of all, let me ask who did you think won the fight?
Bro, it was a close fight. I didn't see that as a robbery. Like there's a lot of people saying it was a robbery from Gane. I didn't see it as a robbery. What I did see was a lot of growth from Volkov because it was a whole different fight from their first fight. The first fight, you really saw. This was their first one. We thought Gane was the future. When we thought Gane was the guy that was gonna. We thought Gane was gonna be where Tom Aspinall is right now. Like we thought he was gonna be the guy running through Ngannou. We thought he was gonna be the guy that if John Jones tried to come up, he would be the one to solve the John Jones puzzle. Like we thought he was the guy. And when he did it to Volkov, that just told us that was just more proof in the pudding. That's like, yo, this is the guy that's supposed to do what he's supposed to do. Since then, you've seen the gap in skill set close, bro. Like you've seen a lot of growth in Volkov. Like you've seen this is a whole different fight in Volkov, and it's a whole different fight in Gane. It makes me to ponder: is it that Volk evolved that much since their last fight?
I was just about to ask you that question.
Or just Gane just stayed stale from his last his last losses. It could be a little bit of both, bro. Because remember, this is
Volkov isn't undefeated since the last time they fought.
Say it again?
I mean, Volkov isn't undefeated since the last time they fought. I don't believe. I think he has losses since.
But neither is Gane. So you trying to say like you trying to say he
I think
Gane
fell off. Gane? I think Gane got exposed by Ngannou. I think that took all the luster off of Gane. Him getting out wrestled. The first thing we saw last night was Gane on the floor. Volkov took him down so fast. That is the MO now. That's yo. There it is.
Everybody got
that
his
is the blueprint. And Ngannou, who's not even a wrestler like that, took him down for 3 rounds after dropping the first 2 rounds. Remember the fight?
Yeah.
Came back, won the last 3 rounds, out wrestled, just had him on the ground.
And all then John Jones did to him.
Yep. Coming all the way into his Volkov. Boom. That's the blueprint. I don't think as much Volkov as it is Gane. There's a and credit to Gane. He handled himself well on the ground. He wasn't perfect, but he handled himself really well. He was in trouble early. And he was able to get out. You could see that he has been getting better, but he has put the work in to make the adjustments to at least survive when he's in that situation. You know, so I give him props for that. But there's a blueprint out on Gane, man, and maybe his confidence might have took a hit too.
I think that's a part of it too.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
don't
that's a
know if
big part of
Volkov
it.
is necessary to the story in this one. No offense to Volkov, but I think it's more gone. For me.
So
For me.
that being said, we already know what's next for Gon because Gon what's based next for Gon is a possible fight against Tom Aspinall if the Tom Aspinall fight doesn't happen with John Jones. But what do you think is next for Volkov?
Volkov, that's a good question. There's a lot of options. You be
You
looking
like
at
who else
because
is
he
next in
lost.
like that division? Hmm?
Because he lost. So I mean, you're
Maybe
looking at
Blades,
huh? You're looking at
maybe Blade.
yeah. That's the name. I'm thinking it was Blades. Yes. Curtis Blades would be. He just took the L to Aspinall, so I'm thinking Blades.
Yeah, and if
Um,
I was Volkov, I'd take that fight because if you beat the guy that the champ beat, you kind of maybe back in the conversation.
yeah, but he got next after next after next. Like
Yeah, he do got next after next after
by
next.
the time he get another title shot, the whole division. UFC funny like that. By the time you mess around, lose your next fight, thinking you're gonna be next after next, man. On your way to being next, some new next. That's how it is. But I believe he beat if I'm not mistaken, he beat Sergey.
Yeah, he did.
He did beat Sergey, so he's in the mix.
Yeah,
So I
he's
think
definitely.
Curtis
That's why I'm
Blades.
pretty sure he was like if he had beat Gon, he would have been
Yeah, you'd have been talking about him
next.
next up.
Yeah.
But I think he lost to Aspinall already, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, that wouldn't stop him out. The way the heavy division is, bro, I don't think if he had beat Gon, that wouldn't have stopped him from getting that second run off.
I hear you.
That wouldn't have changed nothing.
I got you.
That wouldn't have changed nothing.
Fair enough.
So there you guys have it. Tell us who you think is what do you guys think about the fight that we reviewed over? Do you think that Kai is in over in his head in the flyweight division, leaving the Risen promotion in Japan to come over here in the UFC with the big boys? Or do you think that it's just Petov is just that guy right now and we'll probably see him navigate better with the other flyweight fighters? Do you think Demetrius Johnson should come back out and fight the flyweight champ? How excited would you be for that fight? Also for the welterweight division, what do you think is next for Ian Gary? Do you think it should be Leon Edwards or JDM? Or who have we missed out who should get a shot at Ian Gary? And Shapan Roundoff, how you think that fight against Bilal Muhammad go when they do fight each other for the welterweight belt? And in the heavyweight division, do you think it was a robbery that Gon took from Volkov? Or do you agree with my man Kev that suggests that, it's really more of a blueprint that everyone has now on Gon or even a confidence hit? Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know we come with more content. And until next time, this is Fight Words with Kev and Shelz. I'm Shelz.
8 Count Sports. And don't forget our year-ending show.
Yes,
Gotta
sir.
remind y'all about the year-ending show. The date is the 27th, Friday. That's when it will be airing. We'll give me and Shelz top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Fight of the year, knockout of the year, everything. That's the show it all shows. The 27th, Friday. Check us out.
Let's spread the words, guys. Peace.